Hi everybody, hello and welcome to another drawing. Well, it's not a class, I'm going to draw something. And in this case, I'm going to draw a sunflower. Now, those of you that follow me regularly will know that I have this trifold journal. I've got the bones of it made, as you can see. And I was going to do the Art Master. That was going to be the topic for this. But a couple of things happened. One, I haven't got all the paintings done that I need to go in it. And secondly, I bought some paper, like I need it, from a shop called Dali Art here in the UK. The paper is called Shock Art, Shokart. And I just happened upon it when it was all half price. So, well, didn't want to be rude, so bought some. So I'll just quickly show you the papers. They're just delicious. Well, to me they are anyway. I've already cut some up, so these are some remnants. But I'll just quickly flip through this. There's not very many pages. I mean, just look. Just look at them. They're gorgeous. So there's I've got two different collections here. I've got this one that's called Journal Flowers. And I mean, just gorgeous. Look at this one. How nice is that? And that's on the back, which is equally nice. Oh my goodness. So that's the Journal Flowers one. And I also got some other ones that are called Vintage Notes. And they're much of a muchness, I think. They all go together. Well, I'm hoping they do. And I did get some larger stuff of this as well. But this is called Vintage Notes. Look at the kingfisher. Woohoo! So it's got birds and flowers on this one. It's beautiful. Isn't that lovely? So I couldn't resist it. I couldn't. I had to start using it. Otherwise, you know what happens, don't you? It gets put away in the drawer and you just forget you've got it. That's beautiful. So I'm putting it to use right now. And I absolutely adore it. So this seems to have quite a few kingfishers and blue flowers, which is lovely, lovely, lovely. Look at that one. They really are. I mean, you know, and so it goes on. I mean, they're just gorgeous. So that one's called Vintage Notes. The other one's called Journal Flowers. I don't know if it's still available. I'm sure it's not available at half price, but it might be available. Depends how much you like it and how much you want to pay, I guess. So that's the papers. So I decided that I'd make a start. Not on the cover, because I always keep the cover until I'm sort of well into the project and I know what it's looking like. So on this first inside page, I've cut a piece of paper there like that, and that's going to be my back. And then I'm going to have this. I'm going to have all sorts of things coming in and pockets and blah blah. It's going to be a really complicated thing. And then I've got this that comes over the top, and it's got acetate in it. It's double-sided. It's got acetate on both sides, and then it's got a pocket in there. And it's this pocket that I want to address today. I want to draw something and ultimately paint it, something that's going to go in there. So I've cut this piece of mixed media paper, just the right size, I think. Yeah, like that. And then I can put a little tab on the bottom. But I want to draw a sunflower. Somebody, I can't remember, if it's Mardell or Matty. Somebody asked me the other day if I'd draw a sunflower. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm kind of not prepared. I don't even know where my pencil is. Yeah, I've found it. Let's give that a sharpen, shall we? Let's start off with a nice sharp pencil. There we are. lovely. So, sunflowers, yes, well, they're yellow. They're yellow and they've got a big browny blacky centre. But seldom are they face on. You know, we've been talking about this before. Flowers that are face on to you, so you see the full circle and then you see all the petals around it. Flowers rarely look face on, and they don't look totally realistic if you do them like that. Now I've got a leaf on here about 1 inch each side, top, bottom and each side, for where it goes into the pocket. So I'm just going to draw myself quickly a little sort of inch line around there. It might be 1 inch, it might not be 1 inch, it's something like that. So this bit in the centre is where I want to draw mine. I realise you can't see those lines very well, sorry. Right, so my sunflower is going to be, I'm going to draw the centre first because that's a big dark centre in a sunflower. So I'm going to draw it just as an ellipse. We've talked about this before. So that's the centre there. And then I want my petals on it. So I'm going to draw another circle, well, ellipse. So I'm going to come from here, and it gets, you can see more of them as we get that way, and then you can see less of them as we come this way. So that will look fine, I think. Maybe that needs to be a little bit more down there. We'll work it out when we get there. So the petals themselves, this is easy peasy stuff. So you start from the centre, and the petals are shaped, they're pointy, they come out and then they go back in. So that's the sort of shape we're looking for the petals. So I'm just going to start just over that line, the outer line, with my point. I'm going to come in and then down like that. And all I'm going to do is go round it like that, bearing in mind that the angle will always come from the centre. So there's my centre there, so the angle will always follow that centre. So if we were to draw this one, it would come out like that, like that. Okay, so it's always coming from the centre. So I'm just going to draw some more petals on. There will be gaps between them, etc, etc. Don't worry about that. So turn your paper as you go, make it much easier for you. So as I get to here, they're much less in height. I'm going to do these ones up here now. Some of these are a bit dodgy. They're a bit of a dodgy shape, but it'll all be alright in the end. There we go. Right, so as we come to here, we can't really see the petals so much. Actually, I think my centre is a little on the large side. Where's my eraser? I just need to knock that down. Well, they need to change angle if that's the case. So I'm just going to draw that round like that, and put these ones in again, and this one in again, and then as we get to here they get much smaller and you can't really see the point very much, like that. That's okay. Right, so we've got a kind of ellipse, an oval with all this around it. Hooray! But if, as you know about sunflowers, their petals are layered. They have several layers actually. So we're going to go in now and we're going to put some layers behind, petals behind these. So coming up from there, draw your point. And they're not always the same. So this one I'm going to have coming like that, and I'm going to have a smaller one in there behind it. So here it's quite a large one, and a little one in there. So just adding our layers on, we're just adding points really. So you can see what we're doing, we're just filling up that sunflower. Just like so. So take your time, go around it, put all your second level in. It's quite a big gap, so I'm going to put 2 in there, 1 in there, and then when you come to here, just smaller, much smaller, like that. Okay, so we have ostensibly got a sunflower. It doesn't look like a sunflower because it needs quite a bit of shading. Okay. So I'm going to start at the bottom of the first petals, the big petals that we put in first, and I'm going to shade the bottom quite a bit. It's quite dark there, and then it sort of comes up centrally, but not exactly straight. Draw, you know, the centre line a little bit wiggly, like that. So your centre line just wiggles just a bit, and then put your shading in at the bottom. And it's a lot of repetition, this. But you know, that's not a bad thing, is it? When you're doing it, if you're doing it by yourself, you can just put a talking book on or put some music on. And it's a really nice thing to do. So there we are, we're just shading away. So there's lots of petals, but if you ever looked at a sunflower, you know there really are a lot of petals. They're a happy flower, aren't they, sunflowers? They look like smiley faces. There we go. And just 2 more of this layer to do. So you see now, when I was saying that some of them weren't a good shape, it's actually a good thing because you don't want them all to look exactly the same. So that's your first layer of petals on. Now we've got to think about this. Take this petal for example. It's going to come in behind here. It's going to join onto the centre about there, but it's going to be underneath these 2 petals, so it needs a fair bit of shading because it's underneath. So the bottom needs shading, and it needs shading up the side of those petals that are lying over it. This one just a little bit. I used to watch a lady on YouTube who's an acrylic painter, and she's called Ginger Cook. And if ever you want to look up acrylic painting, especially sort of impressionist acrylic painting, I'd give Ginger Cook a look, really. I haven't watched her for a couple of years now, but I presume she's still doing videos. And she always says, put your darkest darks next to your lightest lights. So here, that's exactly what we've done. We've put this very dark shading there next to this very light here, and it gives you dimension. So this one here as well needs to be dark in there, because the petals in front are shading it, not letting it get its fair share of light. And then here, I'm going to draw down to where it joins the centre, and it's dark up there. Similarly here. So you've got the hang of it now. Just where the petals are on top, that's where you want to do your shading, just to push them back. So we'll keep going on like that. So when you break it down like this into little bits, you know, time on time, same thing going round, you can do it. You know, show you a photo of a sunflower and say draw it. That's too big a task. It's not fair. So just start off like this with your 2 ovals, then put your petals in, and then we'll go on from there. There we are. This one, that wants to be very dark because that's in the very back. This one probably does join the centre. There we go, and this one definitely does. There's quite a big gap there, so draw your where it joins onto the centre, then the dark bits underneath the petals. Bet you're sick of me saying that now, but that, you know, you need to remember to do that. Then this is quite a dark one here because it's right at the back. And this one. This one's right at the back. So it's got quite a lot of shading on it. This one's very dark down here, where that petal's lying over it. And this one is dark down here. So it's quite good practice for learning where to put dark and where to put light. Well, you don't put white light, you leave it blank, obviously. So down the sides of there. And this one's very dark, it's underneath 2. We're getting there, we're nearly there. Dark down there, dark down there. This one's very dark, it's very dark. And this one, which I guess is coming down like that. There, I think we're about there. I think that's just about finished that off. So you can see we've got all the petals, we've got all the petals behind, we've got layers of petals, which is what we needed. So let's talk about the centre then. Now the centre of a sunflower is very dark, but it's not all uniformly black. It's got, well, depending on its age, but let's say a mature one, it's got sort of a circle of black right in the middle. So let's do that. So our middle is going to be about here. So let's shade that in. Okay, there. So then it has a sort of a lighter layer, a lighter thing around it. Like that, we'll leave that like that for the time being. Then it has a darker one again. So put that in a bit darker. Now right around where the petals join, it's very dark. And it's going to be darker at this side than the other side. So let's put that in, but let's make it quite thick and quite dark. Mr. F's downloading something onto my iMac and it keeps going beep beep. I don't know if you can hear that, but if you can, that's what it is. It's a CD-ROM with flowers on it. Ooh, yes. Right, so I've got that darker down there. So this one as well needs to be darker down this side. And then it comes to being sort of thinner up there a little bit, the way we are looking at ours. And then it's sort of got a rim around it. So I'm just going to take my pencil and draw inside that line that we've just put there, like that. And then you'd need to put texture on it because it's a very textural thing. So I'm just going to draw little circles, loads of them, loads of little circles. And these are sort of to represent the, is it seeds? Do they have oil pot? I don't know. People use them for oil, so they must get them out of the seeds, I guess. People eat sunflower seeds, don't they? I don't. All sounds a bit too healthy. So I'm just, and as I get to here, I'm spreading them out, making them not so dark. And then here is the same thing. Just want lots of little circles, and here it's almost fuzzy looking. So lots of little lines there. Crisscrossing, going over and back. And there we have it. That's it. It is no more complicated than that. And I know you can do it. I've seen your work. I know that you can do it. So give it a go. Give it a go. Just remember, put your big petals in first. Well, put your ovals in. Put your big petals in. And then just draw your other ones in behind it. And you'll be fine. You can do this. I know you can. So I'm going to follow this video with another video of me painting this. But, you know, if you want to stop there, that's absolutely fine. Stop there. It'll be perfect, I'm sure. So, thank you very much for joining me. Give it a try. You know you can. Oh, let's put a stem in, shall we? Let's do that. Save it being just a floating head. So I'm just bringing my stem down here because it would come from the centre. And it will be shaded on this side. Floating sunflower head. Let's make that nice and dark down there. There we have it. Right, now he's grounded. So thanks for joining me. I hope you give it a go. I'd love to see what you do. If you do have a go at it, or indeed anything to do with junk journaling, painting, etc., please post on my Facebook group, which is called imaginatively Miss Paint-A-Lot's Junk Journal Group. If you're new to the group, don't worry, there's a very lot of supportive people in there. So give it a go. Look forward to seeing yours. Bye.